right, 'cause there will be a time. Oh, oh.
Hey guys, and welcome on in to another episode of Getting Wild with Terry and Friends, free NHL picks. I'm Terry, your host, and today joined by special guest Brandon B. Swire Betts on Twitter. Make sure to go give him a follow. A great NHL capper, and I'll say it, you're one of the reasons I've been looking at totals a bit more this year. I've always been more of a sides better, but I've been looking at totals more this year because of you, and things have been going pretty well. So hoping to keep that going here. We have 9 games on the slate, so we are going to jump right into it here. And I'm going to take Brandon out here while I do my breakdown of the odds and then my pick. First game we're going to be talking about is Vancouver Canucks, Philadelphia Flyers. Vancouver -125 to -135. Philadelphia +110 to +117. Sixes, and there are 6.5s available in this game as well. And when I look at this game, we have two teams that a lot of people might have thought would be similar when it comes to the standings to start the season. A lot of people weren't really that high on the Vancouver Canucks. And for me, they're kind of a team where I don't know what to make of them. And after the first 2 games of the season against Edmonton, obviously the first game was a domination, but the second game they came right back, and they still were able to find a way to win that game. For me in this one, I'm going Vancouver Canucks money line -135. If you want the plus money, you can take them in regulation as well. And something I really don't do is shots on goal props. But Brock Besser is leading the Canucks so far with 9 shots in his first 2 games. He's been shooting the puck and he's been scoring goals as well. So I wouldn't blame anyone for sprinkling on his goal scoring prop as well. But I like him anytime goal in this one. Brandon, what do you think here? Canucks and Flyers.
Yeah, I love the Besser play. He's been humming out of the gate. I will say, I like Vancouver. I think they can be frisky. I would lean towards them in this game here. I'm not sure, obviously they came out of the gate hot against Edmonton. Nobody really saw that coming, especially the second game where they bounced right back and played them tough again. I don't hate the over 6 in this one either. If you can get it at a decent price at 6. I don't know. Is Demko confirmed in goal tonight?
I will get up starting goalies. That's a good question. No, nobody's confirmed Demko or Hart.
All right. So depending on the price, I don't hate the over 6. If I had to make a play in this one, I would ride with you, Vancouver. You got to ride the hot hand. You do. So I like them here in Philly tonight.
All right. Robert says hammer time. Boom. Not quite yet. Well, I'm sure we're going to get there.
We're getting there.
Sometime soon. We'll get there. Canucks team total over 3.5. I hit the like button. Do I get a hug or a cookie? Turnsy, I would send you something, but you owe me Wendy's from like 3 years ago. So you're not getting anything. He knows what I'm talking about. What's up, Terry? Smash like. Thank you, Richie. Live dogs here. Took a shot with Philadelphia. Vancouver bad travel spot after back-to-back wins versus divisional opponent, and they have Tampa Bay on deck as well. Yeah, for me, if this was a back-to-back, like if they didn't have a couple days off in between, then I would be looking at the travel, but it doesn't really affect me in this game. Vancouver is better forwards. I totally agree. Haha. Turnsy, I'll give you some in both. And Turnsy still hasn't paid his Wendy's. No, that's like two or 3 years ago. He still owes me for that. But we'll jump into the second game here, and I will take Brandon out once again. And we'll talk here about the Minnesota Wild and the Montreal Canadiens. Minnesota minus 133 to minus 145. Montreal, pretty much plus 120 everywhere. Sixes and 6.5s looking at this game. And one of my favorite times of the year is when Minnesota gets to face Montreal, because Montreal Canadiens do not like seeing Minnesota on the schedule. The Wild 14-1 in the last 15 meetings between the teams. They've completely dominated Montreal year after year after year. Marc-Andre Fleury will be starting in this game. This very well could be his final start ever in his home town of Montreal. So I'm expecting him to have a good game. He's 3-0 in his last 3 games against the Canadiens, stopping 90 of 92 shots. Fleury has been fantastic. The Wild coming off a bad game against the Leafs. So this is a bounce back spot for the Wild as well. I absolutely love this spot for the Wild today. Wild money lines getting out of my price range, so I would take them in regulation plus 100 here. And then Marco Rossi, anytime goal, plus 650 at Bet365. That is absolutely insane. He scored in game 1. It got taken away because of an offside. It is what it is. It was inches offside, but he still scored. So I'll count that as a goal, even though it technically wasn't. And then he scored in the last game against Toronto, and he leads the team with 7 shots on goal, Marco Rossi. So with Matt Boldy out, the Wild do have some injuries. Losing Goligoski on the third pair is kind of an addition by subtraction. I didn't want to see the third pair get much ice time anyways. So I'm fine with the Goligoski being out. Losing Matt Boldy hurts. Montreal is without Kirby Dach, so that kind of evens that out. But I expect a big night from Marco Rossi, and watch Kaprizov too. If you want to take his shots on goal, with Boldy being out, Kaprizov is going to get a lot of ice time. So I'd be looking at Kirill the Thrill as well in this one. Brandon, what do you think here? Minnesota Wild, Montreal Canadiens.
So, I mean, I always defer to you when it comes to Minnesota Wild games. And you kind of sold me there. As you know, I had Montreal ranked last in the league coming into this season. We'll see. That could change after a week or two. I was a little concerned about injuries for Minnesota here. I think you may be a little banged up, but I like it. And I was just looking, I saw Kaprizov over 1.5 plus 150. Like you said, I expect them to get some good looks. So I don't hate the value there. I would probably lean the under in this game too. I just don't see Montreal scoring. I haven't looked at team totals, but I would have to fade Montreal to score in this game.
Yeah, I do think this will be a lower scoring game, especially with how the last game went for the Wild. And I'm expecting a real good performance from Marc-Andre Fleury tonight, because this could be his last game in Montreal. And there'll be one other game where I'll be looking at him in the same kind of spot, and that's when he goes to Pittsburgh later on in the season. DK doesn't have Rossi. I know, unfortunately, some books don't have him. But if you can find Marco Rossi, take him to score. Caulfield will probably score. Yeah, if someone's going to score for Montreal, it'll probably be Caulfield in this game. We will move on along to the next game here, and this is going to get interesting here with this one. We have the Buffalo Sabres and the Tampa Bay Lightning in this one. Tampa Bay, now the dog. You can get them minus 105 to plus 109. Buffalo, minus 112 to minus 120. Home favorites, 7s right across the board here. I really wanted 6.5. 6.5 was available when the lines opened yesterday morning. But of course, everything has quickly moved to 7s. Both of these teams are having trouble stopping the puck. Buffalo has not been scoring very much either. Both at Tampa Bay, it's very early, but both Tampa Bay goaltenders save percentages are in the 800s, and goals against averages are in the 4s. So neither Tampa Bay goaltender has been able to stop the puck. Devin Levi, I'm going to keep it real short and sweet. if you've watched previous shows or if you've seen my Twitter posts, do not rush young goaltenders. It's just it's not something you do. Look at Detroit and Sebastian Cossa, Jesper Wallstedt in Minnesota, Askarov in Nashville, Wolf in Calgary. All those young goaltenders are in the AHL developing. They're not being rushed, being thrown into a dumpster fire, which is how the Sabres have played so far this year. Levi game 1, Levi game 2, and now Levi game 3. I would have to be Tampa Bay or nothing. The Buffalo Sabres organization is a joke, and they need to do something. For me in this game, though, Victor Hedman over half a point, -115, which is a ridiculous price. He leads Tampa Bay with points, 5 points in 3 games played. He has 9 shots in those 3 games. He's shooting the puck. He's assisting. He's on the top power play. It's ridiculous that the leader in points for the Tampa Bay Lightning is -115 to get a point tonight. So this is one of my favorite plays of the day here in this one. Brandon, Lightning, Buffalo Sabres. What do you think in this game?
I've got Buffalo to get it going tonight. I do. It's been a rough couple first games. I'm high on Levi going into the year. I hear what you're saying about the organization. I agree. But listen, he's been getting no help these first 2 games. Buffalo hasn't been able to score for the life of them, which is never going to help. I think Buffalo does it tonight at home. I mean, at some point, this offense has to get clicking. They have too many weapons. This is the spot to do it. You're going up against Tampa, who you could put 20 up on them tonight if you really wanted to, I think. I have them here tonight. I'm taking a money line. Buffalo at home. I agree with you. The over 6.5 was beautiful. This has overs written all over it to the point it almost scares me. I played it at 7 plus 105. I didn't want to eat the juice on the 6.5. I could easily see this being an 8-9 goal game tonight. And like I said, I have Buffalo coming out and finally making a statement to get the season going tonight. I do. Now, I could look like a fool tomorrow, but tonight's the night for me.
The comments in the chat are completely right. Sabres did play 2 really good defensive teams. So this is a great spot for the Sabres to score some goals is today. Stop Geo says, I have Sabres money line plus 100 from early yesterday when the lines dropped, making me think I should cash out. Don't cash out because of my thoughts. I'm not saying Tampa Bay. If you look at what Tampa Bay has in goal right now, it's bad. It's bad. Tampa Bay, in order to win games, is going to have to outscore their opponents. So don't cash out because of my thoughts. I really want to see this. Buffalo Sabres team made me a lot of money last year, and I want them to do it again this year. I just don't like what I'm seeing when it comes from the goaltending spot. So it would have to be over for me in this game. Tage has to wake up. Yeah, he hasn't got a point yet.
Yeah.
But this is a great spot. Benson has been getting points. I can't find his point prop. I definitely looked. B Sawyer will say let it ride. Yeah. If you like, don't change your bet because of my thoughts. Tampa Bay's goaltending is making Levi look Sorokin. I don't think that at all.
I wouldn't go that
Terry,
far,
yeah. I think you might have saw the wrong prop last night. Matthews anytime goal was -140. Yes, it opened at Bet365 at -250. So it was at Bet365 for -250. So that's why I mentioned at that price. I can blame you. Well, okay, I see. So you want to blame me? Okay, I see. Sabres win, bet it now. Real Deal Prime. I know you're a Sabres fan, and I hope they win for you for sure. You see that parlay at Terry? Yes. Over 6.5, like it. Wild and Reg, like it. Canucks money line, like it. I love it. Plus 500. Best of luck. Go and get it. Tage hat trick tonight. Hey, it wouldn't surprise me. The Sabres have to get it. And this is something else that makes absolutely no sense to me. Victor Olofsson, is not in the lineup for the Sabres. I did see he only has one shot in the first 2 games, so maybe they're sending a message, but I don't know. I disagree with this. Minnesota will take if Buffalo doesn't want Victor Golofsson, Minnesota will take him. Minnesota will take him. But we'll move quickly on to the next game. We've got 4 more to go here, and I will bring up the odds for the next one. We have the Arizona Coyotes and the New York Islanders in this one. We can get Arizona plus 154 to plus 171. Islanders minus 182 to minus 200. 5.5s and 6s in this game here. 7 of the last 9 meetings between these two teams have gone under 5.5, which really shouldn't surprise anybody that we've seen lower scoring games between these two teams. We saw it yesterday with the Coyotes playing the New York Rangers, that they can play a low scoring game. And I think we get it again. I think we get a boring, low scoring game here, under 6, minus 115. And normally when I take an under, I'm not really rushing to the window to bet player props. However, Logan Cooley to get a point, plus 114, the same price as it was yesterday. He has a point in both of his first games so far this year. So that's plus money I just couldn't pass up. I lean with Arizona to upset in this game, but I love the under, and I like Logan Cooley to once again get a point tonight. What do you think here? Coyotes and Islanders.
I'm backing the Yotes tonight. I am. It's partially because I just don't like the Islanders. Now, don't get me wrong. I can't say anything bad about Sorokin being in net, but Arizona is going to be one of those frisky teams this year, man. I really think so. I think they can score. I think they can muck it up. I had the over in that Rangers game last night, which was ugly. But I see them coming out tonight, put a couple in that. I agree it's going to be low scoring. So I like the value on the underdog here. I think I saw it. You had it like plus 174 at some places. I know I've seen it moving all day. But I got to back the Yotes here for sure. And I like the Cooley play. If you can get that at plus money, ride it as long as we can. I think come All-Star break, I don't think we're still seeing that at plus money. So I like it. I'll be on the Yotes tonight, money line.
Oh, so this isn't your under. I was hoping we would have the same under. So
I like the under. Don't get me wrong. I like the under here. But I can't play too many unders.
Yeah, I know. Islanders money line is in my parlay, Arizona back-to-back. The back-to-back situation, because it's so early in the year, players are rested. If this was later on in the year, back-to-backs will affect my capping a lot more. But earlier on here, we could see it. Under 5.5 plus 105. I know a lot. It's scary to take it under 5.5 with the 7s we're seeing right now, and 6.5s all the time. But in this game, I do like it. Yes, Terry back and Cooley. Heck yeah, cash back-to-back games, not jumping off now. Goalie advantage Islanders. Yeah, Sorokin, I have to say, but Vejmelka is no bum, that's for sure. Interesting, the Yotes save their better goalie for the better New York team. No comment there, Nicholas. Islanders D is good, but they can't pass worth shit. Yeah, that team has no offense. And to help the under, Islanders are scratching Oliver Wahlstrom again. So I guess they don't want a goal scorer in the lineup. They would rather have old and slow guys. But that works with the Islanders, old and slow guys. That's their motto there. But we'll jump into the next game here, which I just realized I don't have the stuff up for, so I will skip that game and come back to it in 1 second. Next game up is going to be the Edmonton Oilers and Nashville Predators. Edmonton minus 145 to minus 148. Nashville plus 120 to plus 132. 6.5s right across the board here. This one. And for me, this game is almost a complete pass. Edmonton, not a team I trust right now to back it's 2 games, so against the same opponent. So this is definitely a different opponent for them to face. But they're facing a better goalie now in UC Saros. I'm tempted with the over. Edmonton overs right now, and we're getting 6.5, -119, -120, which is a great price. But I'm not sure I trust the Oilers enough with what I've seen from their offense to beat Saros and to be able to push this total over. So for me in this game, Juuso Parssinen, over half a point, +124. He is on the top line for the Nashville Predators. I do expect Parssinen, Forsberg, and O'Reilly to have success against the Edmonton Oilers goaltending. So to get a top player, +124 to get a point is a no-brainer for me in this one. So I'm on Parssinen point in this game. Brandon, what do you think here? Edmonton Oilers, Nashville Predators.
I agree. As I was going down the line, I skipped right over it. I had no interest in this. I want to see what Edmonton can do this year. You know, they'll bounce back. The 2 games against Vancouver, I'm not too concerned. Now, something in this game, shout out to the guys at the Empty Betters podcast. I think it was Harrison that pointed this one out. Leon Draisaitl, 22 goals in 22 games against the Preds in his career. I took it. I took Draisaitl anytime goal, +115, little value there. I don't love that he has to go up against Saros, but he's had success against Nashville. 22 goals in 22 games, I can't ignore. And, this power play is going to get buzzing. We know they will. This offense is going to get buzzing. They're going to put pucks in net. So I'm back in Draisaitl here. I don't have a side. I don't have a total. And I'm not a huge prop guy, but I gotta ride this. I do. Shout out Empty Betters.
All right. Yeah, and Draisaitl got moved to the top line as well with McDavid. So instead of being on his own second line, now he's getting moved to the top line with McDavid, which is always going to help somebody getting moved to the top line. So I like that play for you. I can see the Oilers scoring. They have the speed to do it for sure. Yeah, I think they got to get it going here, most likely in this game. We'll jump into the next game here, which is the Los Angeles Kings, Winnipeg Jets, LA +110 to +116, Winnipeg -125 to -130, 6.5s and now 6s available here in this one. I'll be short and sweet. LA Kings is an over team for me. I'm looking to bet overs in their games, and I'm looking to take their opponents so far this year, and that's where I'm going here. Over 6 is now -122 in this one, and Winnipeg Jets on the money line -130. I really like what I saw from Winnipeg in their home opener. They have the home ice advantage here. Cam Talbot probably back in net for the Kings. He's someone I'm looking to fade. Both of these teams have gone over 6.5 in both of their games to start the season. So both teams have been over machines so far, and I think we see it here once again in this one. Brandon, Kings, Jets, what do you think here in this one?
Hammer play the over. This is the hammer for me today. I'm kind of in the same boat of LA is just an auto bet anytime I see they're over. I don't care if you get it at 6 or 6.5 today. Both of these teams have been, well, I'll say this. Jets have been scoring and letting up goals. LA, they scored against Carolina, but they were down 3-0. I think it was 3 separate times in that game. They had to fight their way back. Whether it's Talbot, whether it's Copley in net, I don't care. LA, I like Quentin Byfield. I expect some big things out of him this year. I'd like to see him pick it up. I like goals to be scored in this game. I like a lot of goals to be scored in this game. And it's funny because Winnipeg last year was a team I wouldn't touch. I would not ever play an over with Winnipeg last year. And not that I don't believe in Hellebuck this year, but, through the first couple games, I'm not super impressed. So hammer the over for me.
Awesome. I love it. We're on the same side. We will jump into the next game here, which is between the Colorado Avalanche and the Seattle Kraken. Colorado minus 145 to minus 155. Seattle plus 124 to plus 137. Sixes and 6.5s available here in this game. Of course, this is the first meeting since the Seattle Kraken pulled off the upset, eliminating Colorado last year in the playoffs in Game 7. This will be the first meeting since that game. Seattle so far has scored 2 goals in their first 3 games of the season. And, sometimes you're wrong, sometimes you're right. And I have to admit, I was wrong. I came into the season ready to back the Kraken, and I backed them in the first 2 games. I was intending on backing them all 3, jumped off that ship after the second game, and I have no intention of jumping back on here. The Kraken, this is just a bad spot for them. And you may think, hey, they're at their home opener now. They've been on the road. They're at home here. Colorado 6-1-1 all time in Seattle. They've had no issues winning in Seattle. And the Avalanche, coming off that game against San Jose and Blackwood, where no matter how many times they would shoot the puck, they could not score. They could not beat Blackwood. They ended up beating him at the end there. They went into the shootout. They won. I think they find the puck to go to the back of the net a lot easier today after their last game. I like Colorado in regulation, plus 115 in this one. I was wrong about the Kraken. And I'm not saying that they're done. We're 3 games into the season, but the alarm bells are starting to go off in my mind for the Kraken, and I think they have some work to do to get better now. Brandon, what do you think here? Avalanche Kraken rematch of last year's playoff series.
I'm in the same boat. The Kraken have been disappointing so far. For me, it's been, I like a lot of goals to be scored. The lack of offense has been very disappointing to me. I like Matty Beniers. I was big on Matty Beniers coming into this year, expecting him to kind of take over. And like you said, it's still early. I will say in this game, my notebook, I have H's for hammers next to 2 games, the LA over and the under 6.5 in this game. I hate hammering unders under 6.5. The under's 10-1 in the last 11 matchups. You go back I don't like Seattle to score here. I like Grubauer at home tonight. Even if Colorado scores a couple, to me, this line should not be at 6.5. This is the result of these inflated lines these past couple days with these 7s, crazy numbers. So I'm going to take advantage of it. To me, this should have been a 5.5, maybe 6 game last year. That's what we were getting in this matchup. So if you want to give me under 6.5, I have to hammer it. I do. Even a 4-2 game. And I don't even see Seattle scoring 2 tonight, to be honest with you. So I'm all over the under here, which I hate doing, but I gotta do it.
Hey, I can, based on what I've seen from the Kraken and their offense, I can totally understand why you would do that. I'm just why I would be a little nervous about the total is just with how much trouble Colorado had to score in their last game. They might, but then again, because of how much they shot last game, they might not shoot as much this game. So that could affect the total as well. But give us 2-0 Colorado win, and we're both happy.
Love it.
Sounds good. We'll jump into the next game here, which is a really interesting game we have between the Dallas Stars and the Vegas Golden Knights in this one. Dallas minus 105 to minus 110. Vegas minus 103 to minus 112. Sixes, also 5.5s available in this game. And for me, I'm doing it again, my second time this year. Give me the draw, plus 320 for this game to go to overtime. 9 of the last 15 meetings between the teams have gone to overtime, including 5 of the 9 meetings last year between the teams. This game is priced a pick'em, and I think it's a pick'em for a reason. I think we get overtime, 2-2, 3-3. I'm going more with 2-2. I think this game goes 2-2 to overtime, and I have no idea who wins this game. So I have no opinion on who actually wins. Just give me overtime in this one. Brandon, Stars, Vegas Golden Knights, probably the game of the night for most people. What do you think in this one?
Yeah, and I have Dallas number one in the West coming into the year. It's too early for me to change that. Vegas is right up there. Looking at everything last night, all morning, I couldn't find a play. I'm in the same boat. I love that draw play that you just gave out at plus 320. I just see this so evenly matched. There's no numbers that I like to play here. This has to go to overtime. I think this is going to be a great hockey game. Could definitely be a playoff preview again. I love it. I'm going to continue to look because I want to have a side and I want to play Dallas tonight. I do. But Vegas has looked good so far. It's hard early in the season. I think it's going to be a 50-50 matchup. Take it to overtime. Could be a shootout. I got nothing here. I really don't.
Hey, no worries there. Yeah, I was looking at this game and I'm like, draw. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, draw. And then I go and look that they've gone overtime in 9 of the last 15 meetings. And I'm like, all right, okay. No thoughts. This one is a no-brainer. So that's where I went with that one. We'll jump into the final game of the night here, which is between the Dallas, or not between the Dallas Stars, between the Carolina Hurricanes and the San Jose Sharks here in this one. Carolina minus 298 to minus 350. San Jose plus 240 to plus 280. Sixes right across the board here. And Mackenzie Blackwood will be back in net for the San Jose Sharks. And after the game he had against Colorado, it's not a surprise that he's back in net. And Carolina on the third game of their California road trip to start the season. And you have to take the minus 1.5 at minus 118 and minus 125, which is just not something I'm interested in doing here. For me, it's plain and simple here, a player prop. Teuvo Teravainen is plus 110 to get a point. He leads the Carolina Hurricanes in points so far with 4. He has 4 goals to start the season. He's on the second line, and he's plus 110 to get a point against the Sharks team. Give me Teravainen. And he was a player that was on the fourth line in the preseason, and he had a message sent to him by the coach that he had to play better, and he has definitely done that to start the season. So another no-brainer here for me, another one of my favorite props of the night. Teuvo Teravainen over half a point, plus 110. Great value in this one. Brandon, final game of the night, Carolina Hurricanes, San Jose Sharks. What do you think here in this one?
Yeah, I love that you threw Teravainen up there. I picked him up a couple nights ago in fantasy. He's a great plug and play guy for me in my fantasy lineup. For me, I lean towards the over 6. I wouldn't play it past like minus 110, maybe minus 115. The minus 120 is a little too juiced for me personally. There's no value on Carolina here. I can't play the puck line at minus 125, minus 120. In San Jose, man, I don't want to call them frisky yet, but they may, Carolina on the road, like you said. San Jose may be able to sneak a couple in. I don't see Mackenzie Blackwood. I don't see Blackwood playing that well again. I just don't. And I could be wrong, but he can't stand on his head every game. It was unreal what he did the other night. Hats off to him. I think Carolina is going to score on him, though. Give me a 5-2 game, Carolina winning. San Jose to sneak a couple in, push it over the 6. That's where I go with this.
Awesome. Yeah, we've seen Carolina's games go over to start the season, and I was kind of looking at them at more of an under team, especially with Svechnikov not being in, but we've seen high-scoring games from them so far this year. But that is today's show. If you haven't given Brandon a follow at B Sawyer Bets, go give him a follow. The link to his Twitter is in the description below. If you're new to the channel, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Appreciate all the support. And we'll see you guys again for other episodes. Getting Wild with Terry and Friends, free NHL picks. Best of luck, guys. Let's all make some money on this beautiful NHL slate. Have a good one, guys.